Could somebody give me an ICP that I can work with? I can't seem to find mine. 8 zeros, yep. 85 So 8 zeros. Okay, that's great. You don't have to put the zeros in, no. Okay. So okay, so that ICP good. Okay, that ICP, we've already accepted responsibility for it, and now we're going to specify all the different information. So if you have a look at the metering information here, there is an update button. So we click the update button, and the screen changes quite radically to show all those 4 different levels. Level 1 is the summary information, and this information is basically it's summarized from the information that you supply at the lower levels. So, for instance, it's saying at the moment there are no installations at all. That's because we haven't gone down to the installation level, which is level 2. As soon as we go on to level 2, we can start making installations. And we can do that by adding a new installation here by putting in a number like 1, 2, 3. So first off, we'll have installation number 1. And then type in a 2, add a new installation, installation 2. Add a new installation, installation 3. And you can now see over on the summary information being updated at this stage. So you don't have to supply the information here, like the number of installations. That's worked out by the fact that we've done some work in level 2. And when you're working at level 2, you get a choice here of which particular installation, 1, 2, or 3, you want to work with. So if I wanted to work with number 2, you select number 2, and then all the information that you supply relates to that particular installation. But I, in fact, don't want installation 3. I only want 1 installation, so I'll remove installation 3. I go to installation 2 and I'll remove that one. So basically I've now just got my 1 installation. That's all I really needed in this case. Now, for this, we'll specify that the meters to be located at the back door. Now there are some codes, some location codes. You remember how to look at those through the static data. And one of those is BD, which stands for back door. There's lots and lots of these codes. Now this is interim certified. Now interim certified means you don't have to, until the 1st of April 2015, it doesn't have to be certified properly, so there's no ATH. So if we say that it's going to be a non-half hour, and the certification type is going to be interim, which means you don't have to have an ATH certify it properly. Now this is valid until the 1st of April 2015. Now so that's the certification. Sorry, this should be the expiry date here. Now, are the load control devices to be included into the certification? So if we say yes, and there are no certificate variations, you do have to specify the interrogation cycle. So we'll say 365. Now, so far so good. That's all we have to specify there for that metering installation. So now, what are the components? What devices do we have? And you may remember that diagram that we had of the meter and the load control device for the hot water heating. So the meter, let's suppose that the meter is, that's the serial number. So we'll add a component based on its serial number, and it's that particular number there. And of course we could add new components, and we're going to have to add a new component, namely the load control device, very shortly. But for the moment, let's get the meter sorted, and then we'll come back and we'll tackle the load control device. Okay, so we've got one component now. The metering component type, well, it's actually a meter. And it's a non-half hour meter, and it's not AMI. And the metering installation category, the size of the meter from 1 to 5, it's 1, normal domestic kind of meter. And we'll put in the compensation factor. This is that multiplication thing that Ron mentioned. Okay, so far so good. That's that taken care of. Now, level 4. When we go down to level 4, you're talking about the channels, the registers on the meter. And let's suppose that this is so we're going to have a channel there. So we're working with that channel. The number of dials on the meter was 6, if you remember the specification. And what type of load is it measuring? Well, it's measuring inclusive. It's measuring both the controlled and the uncontrolled load. It's available for 20 hours, the controlled load, and the unit of measurements is kilowatt hour. Energy is it's flowing out of the network into our premises, so we're not injecting power back into the network. The accumulator type it's cumulative, and this meter is definitely used for settlement purposes. So far so good. That's the meter taken care of. We've now got to go back up to level 3, which is the component level, because we've got one more piece of equipment. If you remember, there was a load control device. So let's have a load control device. So that's the serial number of this load control device. So we'll add that one in. And for the load control device, the AMI flag is N, and again we've got to put in the compensation factor. Load control devices need channels as well, need a channel record as well. So let's add a channel there, And all we have to do is say that the load control device isn't involved in any way in settlement. So before I can update this, I've got to have an event date for all this metering information. So we'll put in today's date, 31/7/2014. And now we'll update. So I've got an error here. Invalid metering component type. Oh yes, so yeah, when I was working with the load control device, I forgot to say that a load control device is L. So that's successful. So we've now got our metering information entered correctly. And because we're kind of running out of time at this stage, I don't think we'll have time to actually go through this exercise that you've seen me do. You will be able to do this exercise. In fact, you'll be able to do the whole course by yourselves from the notes using your own browser at home. So this weekend your homework is to go through the course and do all these exercises again. So should be able to do that successfully. You've got all the files on the flash drive. Right, so that's taken care of what an MEP does. So we might go to the course slides and we'll go on now to Module 8, Trader ICP Management. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to do some trader switching. So remember you paired off with somebody at the start of today, and what you're going to do is you're going to gain the ICP from your partner. And that will involve these switch messages that Ron has talked about before. In fact, here's the case for the simple trader switch. You send an NT message. It's optional whether the losing trader sort of acknowledges that or whether they go straight to completing the switch. In our case, we've got two exercises in this module. One is for starting off the switch with an NT, and the other is for completing the switch. And Ron mentioned also that you can request a new meter reading, which has to be acknowledged. And either the losing trader or the gaining trader can ask for the switch to be withdrawn, and the response for that is an AW. Okay, so how do we do a switch? Well, what you do from your partner is you write down whatever their ICP number was, find out from them what their ICP number was. Yes, because you'll be logging on now as RET 1 or RET 2. RET 1 or RET 2. So whatever you logged on before as, RET 1 or RET 2. No, it's been unlocked now. Electric 3. Electric 3. Rep 1 works okay, does it? Rep 1 with electric 3 doesn't work.
It's under it too. Oopsie daisies. Yeah, rep one's been locked.
Okay, well, fortunately, I've got some slides that cover this process. What you do is suppose you want to gain a particular ICP number 12345. So what you do is you log on as a gaining trader. You log on to the registry, and you do a search on 12345. And so you find that particular ICP that you want to gain control of. You're the gaining trader. And then you go to the switching menu. Now the switching menu looks different depending on whether you're an MEP or a retailer. Because MEPs just do MEP switching, whereas retailers do retailer switching. So the retailer switching involves a number of these messages. Ron's gone through all of the messages, starts off with an NT, finishes with a CS. So you go to the switching menu and choose Switch NT, because that's the way that you start off the whole switching process. So go to Switch NT, and then you put in the proposed transfer date, and this could be maybe a couple of weeks into the future. And then for the switch in type, well, in our case, we want to just do a TR kind of switch. And then so when you choose a TR type of switch, another field appears down at the bottom for you to put in a meter reading. You have to put in a meter reading. With a move-in switch, I guess we're starting from scratch there. And then you click the update button, and that will start the whole process off. So that's what you do as the gaining trader, and the switch is then in process. So we've got instructions here on how to do that. Obviously, not being able to log onto the system is a bit of an impediment. But you put in the proposed transfer date to be 2 weeks hence, switch type to be TR, and the proposed profile RPS. Okay, now then the losing trader has to log on to the system, and they have to complete that switch. So the losing trader would log on to the system, search for that same ICP 12345, and then go to the switching menu and do a switch completion, a CS. Okay, and sorry, here's where we put in the metering information. So we would put in here the actual transfer date when the switch was going to be completed. And we click on this metering button, and you've got to enter in the metering information. So for that exercise, you'd log on as the losing trader, search for the ICP, access the complete switch screen from the switching menu, enter in the actual transfer date, click that metering button, and then you have to supply some information. Now this is the key held indicator, whether you're holding a key to the premises. The last read date and the reading, and whether it's an actual reading or whether it's an estimate. So that would be, and then you click the update button and that would complete the switch. So it's really quite a simple pair of exercises. If we could log onto the system, we would be able to do this quite simply. We would start off the switch with an NT, and then we would complete the switch with a CS. Okay, so I'm sorry about that fact that the system is not playing ball with us. What I would like you to do now, if you wouldn't mind, please, is to complete the feedback form. And we do have some certificates for you. I'd like to thank you all for your participation on the course and for your hard work and for your understanding of the fact that we've had numerous technical difficulties today.